Hi, I am Dimitri from Silver & Young Private Wealth, and I'd like to welcome you to a new episode of Behind the Wealth podcast. We explore, investigate, and analyze topics of wealth creation. I would like to welcome you back to the new episode Behind the Wealth. And please note that whatever we say today is a general advice and not a specific advice tailored to your needs, as I don't know who you listen to me. And if you have any questions regarding of today's subject, please call our office or call your accountant or contact your financial planner. Today's subject is about wealth. And I was thinking, we talk about wealth and how we create wealth, but we never defined what is wealth. And I have to be honest with you and tell you this question triggered by a very good friend of mine, Bill, who a month or two ago we had dinner together, and he said to me, "I like your podcast and I listen to them, but you didn't address one question for me. What is wealth?" And typical Bill, I realize that he does always these critical questions. That's why I like him as a friend. That he goes beyond the given wealth. Yes, but what is wealth for you? And I'm asking you, what is wealth for you? What is the meaning of word wealth for you? Of course, you can take the dictionary and see what is wealth, or the lexicon and see what is the meaning of wealth, and usually around a dollar sign or a euro sign or some currency sign. But it's not that. If you hold an older paper, an older person, and you say, "How, Mrs. Smith?" "I'm very well, as long as I'm healthy." And health, it is the ultimate wealth, because without health, you can't enjoy anything else. For the person who is really cannot have children, having children is the ultimate wealth, because she or he has the desire to have children and cannot have for whatever medical reason. And this is the ultimate wealth. For the person who doesn't have money, he or she thinks that the ultimate wealth is just money. I don't have the answer to this question, because this question is very, very difficult to answer, and only can be answered by every one of us when we ask this question. But why I'm insisting in that particular question? Because I believe if you don't answer this question in a truly manner, in a manner that it is really transparent between you and yourself, you can never achieve the ultimate goal in life that you want to do, and wealth is going to be part of that, usually. And there's another issue. The interpretation of what is wealth, it also evolves as we evolve ourselves. You have different meaning of wealth when you are 3 or 4 or 5. Different meaning of wealth when you are 12, when you are 16, 17, you are 30 or early 30s, and the 50s, and later on. Different definition of wealth you will give. You will give the main definition: wealth is to be comfort and all the rest. But there is all other peripheral things that if they are not there, the money itself is not important. I remember myself when I was 12 years old, or even younger, probably 10, 11, I wanted to buy a push bike, but my parents, they didn't want to give me to buy me a push bike. And I remember I went to the grandparent and I said, "Look, I want to buy a push bike." And he said, "No way in the world, I'm going to buy a push bike for you because I'm afraid you have an accident." And of course, I said to him, "What about if I buy the push bike with my own money?" He said, "If you can save and buy the push bike with your money, that's fine." So the ultimate wealth for me at that time, to be wealthy, it was for me to buy this push bike. But why? Because push bike for me at 12 was freedom, was exploration, was energy release, was independence, was exploring the world, flying, although I was riding, away to see different things and explore different areas. Although in a microcosm where I lived, in the big city that I used to live, for me was a big exploration. At 12 years old, almost exactly, I saved enough money and I bought my push bike with all the gears with my friend Michael. And this was a big achievement for me. But I can tell you, every pocket money I had, I didn't go from the canteen in the school and spend it to anything. Anything I had, I saved it for that purpose. So having total understanding what it is meaning wealth for you and why the reason you do that achieves a high percent of achievement. That's a purpose. Because if you don't have a total understanding on a spherical way, what means to you wealth, not what means to me the financial planner or your accountant or your best friend or your mom and dad, what it means to you, creation of wealth, what it is beyond what you're going to do with the money. It's beyond that step. You will never achieve your wealth that you deserve or the wealth you're able to achieve because you will never do enough sacrifices to achieve that because you don't badly want it, because you don't badly believe it, because you're not really hungry 100%, and because you don't have this pain point that I really want that. When I was 12 years old, I wanted the push bike because the push bike with gears, I would go in the hills and I would be faster than anyone and I can ride it longer and it gives me the freedom to go places I could never go because I was not allowed to drive. To my mind at 12 years old, this was the ultimate. Because so much hunger, so much determination, I bought a very expensive bike for those days, the top of the gear, with all of my money. And I've seen other things in my life that I achieved it. But when I look back now 30, 40 years ago, I achieved probably 30, 60% of that capacity. The reason is I didn't really determine 100% what was meaning for me to achieve that. What was the reason? What was the purpose? And in the creation of life, of wealth, and in spending your life, it's very important you know where you're heading and what it is, your purpose in life. I keep saying this. The reason I keep saying this because the purpose of life, of your life, of every one of us of life, it is moving. It is not the same. You have different purpose and meaning why you need the financial independence when you are 20 or 30 to buy a house, to buy a better car, to get married, and when you get married, to educate your children, and to do other stuff that most people like to do. And then when you go to retirement age or pre-retirement age, the wealth means security against health, security in case I get sick, security in case my family needs any money, security in case I won't need anyone and I'll be independent. So this little orange bike that I bought, yes, it was orange because I like the orange color, orange bike that I bought, it comes with me all the years. Even now, I'm an older man. The reason is it just changed the shape, changed the reason I need to have that sort of bike. And if you don't review your purpose in life and the meaning, what it means wealth for you today, and then do the task and do the goals regarding your meaning of life and the meaning of wealth every stage. In my humble opinion, is you just achieve mediocratic results. Yeah, I'll buy a house. Yeah, because everyone buys house. Because yeah, I buy parcel shares. Yes, I buy this. Yeah, I invest in super. Yes, I do this because everyone does, and you become part of the herd. Every part of the herd today does this. I do the same, and I can see this from the clients. Always, I have the same questions for a parcel of clients at the same time, almost in the same week or month, because this is what the media bombard us and the media tell us to think, and we think. But the person who creates wealth, he doesn't take this as an account, but he talks and he thinks outside this particular square to see, okay, now that's what most people look. What should I look instead of all these people looking? Because these people, when they stop looking in this, they're going to look to that plan. And then I may be an early enter, or I have an early entry in this position for me to create the wealth. I need to go back to the more philosophical point of view of what is wealth. The important for you to answer that question, what it is wealth for you. And probably it's a good idea if you could write it down and communicate it with your best friend or your soulmate. It could be your wife, your husband, your brother, your sister, your mom and your dad. But you need to be the person who's critical, not the person, your best friend or your soulmate, that out of love we say, ah, nice, ah, beautiful. How did you think about that? No. The person like my friend Bill, I like what you do, but you didn't answer for me one particular important question. What is wealth? That's the person you want to do the communication and discuss your plan. If you have, and if you're lucky to have that person, because some of us, we don't. Then you go to the best possible person. The other point I want to say is that creation of wealth and the review of the constant plan for creation of wealth is a must, because you can't be slave to your original plan that you were 20, 30 years ago. And I'll give you an example. 30 years ago, I wanted to have a plan of creation of wealth. For example, buy my own home, buy a car for me, buy a car for my wife, have an investment property or two or three, have a superannuation, set up an SMSF, buy something in the SMSF, and do A, B, C, D. But this is 30 years ago. 30 years ago is a different Dimitri than the Dimitri who is today. 30 years ago, for example, there was not SMSF. There were only superannuation and just starting the superannuation. It was too difficult for people to put money there and invest in SMS in a super because they didn't believe. Low wages, young kids, it's difficult to buy property when everyone is afraid to buy property because of the borrowing capacities, because of the high interest, because of unemployment. But say, for example, we achieve that. Then at 30 or 40, you should stick to the propositions you made 20 years ago or 15 years ago. Yes, you should stick to this plan if your needs are the same as 20 years ago or 10 years ago. If the meaning of wealth has the same value as 10 or 15 years ago, which is more likely, then you should stick to that. But if your meaning of of wealth, if your purpose of life has changed a little bit, has shifted a little bit to the right or to the left, you should adapt that plan according to your new needs. It doesn't mean because you created a wealth creation plan depending on your core values that you had 20, 30 years ago, depending what is meaning was meant to be for you wealth 20, 30 years ago, you have to stuck to that and don't change it. You need to be adaptable and you need to be flexible. And of course, you don't change a course every day or every month or every 6 months. But I think a yearly based review to go away by yourself and value what is important to you on a philosophical way first. My family, my this, my that, but what I do to show that these are valuable to me. Are they in my plan regarding the value that I put them? Or I just say they're valuable, but they're not in my plan? Number one. And then address the current issues, the new issues that will come during the year regarding the wealth creation and regarding the meaning of wealth and the purpose of your life. As an accountant, as a financial planner, I've seen a lot of wealthy people who are miserable and they feel very poor. And I've seen a lot of average middle class or even not wealthy people. They feel that the millionaires of this world, they feel like Warren Buffett. Are these people stupid? No. Most of them, they're not, I have to say. Actually, most of them, they're very admirable. Not because they feel wealthy when in real terms they are not wealthy in the standard terms as we value things, but they're not wealthy because they don't have the fears of the insecurities of not having the wealth. On the other hand, there are other people who are really extremely wealthy or quite wealthy, having all this insecurity constantly that will be maybe not enough all the time. I think this is a sad situation. And I'll give you an example. I have a lot of clients that when we started many, many years ago, they needed to have $10,000 or $20,000 in the bank to feel secure. Later on, they wanted $50,000. Later on, they needed $100,000. Later on, they needed $200,000 to be just cash in the bank to be secure. But the level of style, the style of living expenses hasn't been substantially increased to need that buffer. They still have the same jobs, good paid jobs, secure jobs. They still have a good health. Nothing of the parameters change for them to have the need to have access 100% cash from $20,000 to $200,000 in a span of 3 to 5 years. What is the underlying issue? Insecurity. Insecurity, and put it too much effort, too much emphasis that my wealth is the money. But I believe if they look inside the soul, if they look inside to themselves, money is not the first priority. They value other things more than money. But because they can't get these other things, the second substance, the second substitute is money, and it's more easy to access probably and to hold, because also the herd, the people value this more than ever. And I say this and I close. I remember my valuation of what is the meaning of wealth. It has substantially changed over the 30, 40 years that I'm really addressing this question, maybe even more, maybe when all the days then I was a teenager. And the reason it is always changed is because I am changing. And when I'm changing, all the important things around me change as well. So the wealth, the meaning of wealth had a different meaning when I was younger, middle-aged, and older. And what else it affects it? It affects my mental status. My mental state is very important. How I interpreted these meanings at particular time. So this is another point, important point. When you go and do this shared soul or soul search regarding what is the meaning of wealth and what is my purpose for wealth creation for me, don't do it when you are extremely optimistic and go, we get it. And don't do it on a bad day that you're really low, because all of us, we have the highs and the lows. Try to do it on a day that you are as balanced as possible, as average as possible, not extremely happy, not extremely, sad or upset. The reason is there is a lot of emotional going to that in prioritizing things. But when you put the plan, it will have affect your feelings that you did this time when you did the thinking and drafting the plan. This is a more philosophical point, but I think it's very important for you to consider. So I'm asking again my friend's question. What is the meaning of wealth for you? And when you answer this question, what is important for you according to your core values and according to your plan and your purpose in life, it will be a lot easier to achieve everything you want to achieve, inclusive creation of wealth, at the best possible way according to your abilities and to your capacities that you have. So you're going to achieve it on your full potential, 100%, whatever it is, a lot or a little. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have any questions or you want to discuss more, please give us a call on 0296007760 or email us on pw, P for private, W for wealth, at silverandyoung.com.au, silver as the metal, young as the youth. Till next time, have a good day. I hope you have enjoyed our recent episode Behind the Wealth, provided to you by Dimitri from Silver and Young Private Wealth. If you have any questions regarding our recent episode, please email us on pw, P for Peter, W for word, at silveryoung.com.au. Until next time, have a good day and enjoy life.